Hi everyone, welcome to the session on Introduction to Material Management. You must have studied this as part in your production management, but this course on material management will give you a complete details of its importance in the organization. Because it is an indispensable core activity of all types of organization, whether manufacturing, trading, and even non-profit organizations involved in procurement, storage, and replacement. Is it only the material which takes more importance? No. Smooth production depends on the availability of all 5 M's. This is what makes it more important because all other factors revolves around it. Where does this materials come from? We get raw materials from mineral deposits, farmland and forests. But can they be consumed directly to satisfy our needs? No. So a production function is needed to transform these resources into a useful goods. Managing production means planning for and controlling resources used in the process like men, money, material, machine, and methods. But the major way in which management plans and control is through the flow of materials. Actually, this material flow controls the effectiveness of the process. If right material at right time is not available, the process cannot produce what it should. Let us move on to the introduction to the materials management. You can observe the flow chart here. So the material management is the planning, directing, controlling and coordinating of all those activities concerned with the material and inventory management. From the point of their inception to the introduction in the manufacturing process. So it begins with the determination of material quality and the quantity that ends with its issuance to the production in time, where we need to meet the customer demands on schedule and at the lowest cost. We all know that the earnings of the organization can be enhanced either by increasing the sales or by decreasing the expenditure on direct and indirect cost of materials. This requirement of survival of the industry to provide regular and uninterrupted flow of materials has created the need of material department so as to achieve proper performance of the plant and equipment by procuring regular flow of basic raw materials and spare parts in order to utilize the equipment at optimum output and efficiency. Though it is just an introduction, it is important to know the significance of materials management for business. So this slide explains how many important functions material management deals with. Let us go one by one. So the very first one in the line is make or buy decision. So in order to achieve more profits, every organization engage in procuring desired materials for the production at a low cost. We all know this. Sometimes firms might engage in producing the materials necessary for their production on their own if the cost of procurement is higher than its own production. So in order to determine whether goods or materials should be purchased or produced within the firm arises a make or buy problem. So some of the factors in organization that would influence make or buy decision be: number one, size of the company, difficulties in manufacturing the materials required for the production, quality of the goods and the production factors. Next, the facility procurement. So it is an element of wider function of procurement that includes the activities like ordering, expediting, receipt and payment. So it is responsible for obtaining the materials, parts, supplies and services needed to produce the product or to provide a service. Next, calculating quantities for scheduling. So you can start material quantity calculation during production planning, correct? So automatically together with the functions during which scheduling is carried out. So material quantity calculation calculates number one, the components, the operation, phase and scrap quantities for which the formula is determined at each level. So product quantity calculation is not carried out during automatic material quantity calculation. So it is the component quantities for which there are no definite formulas. For example, we use simple product quantity like bills of materials or order release, like that. So manually we have a master receipt or a process order. So here you decide whether the product quantity is calculated in addition to the component, operation, phase and scrap quantities. So when you carry out product quantity calculation, it systematically recalculates the component quantities with the formulas later. So these are all mostly dependent on the software modules. We will be going in detail when we are discussing about the calculating quantities. Next one, we have ordering of material. So it is an instruction or a logistics to enable the products, assemblies, parts, etc. to be identified by item, delivery, date, supplier or a person in charge of a manufacturing when their items are created or purchased. So an order number is usually given to the order as an identification code, and its logistic is made as a manufacturing instruction for manufacturing items or as an order form for purchasing item. So there are various types of orders. We have manufacturing order. So it's an order necessary for manufacturing items, and it is classified into two. One is internal order, where it is manufactured by the company itself, and subcontract order, where manufactured by the subcontractors. So the internal order is explored to manufacturing process unit, which we normally call it as an operational order. Next, we are moving on to codification. And codification is the concise representation of equipment, raw material, tools, spares and suppliers. So what do we mean by the codifications? So it refers to the process of assigning symbols to the parts. Why the symbols are important? Because whenever you mean something, it represents the characteristics of the parts, manufacturing attributes or sometimes both. So it is important because materials are stored at a very large numbers and it needs to be identified correctly. So when you follow the codification, this provides systematic way that helps you to store, issue and identify the materials easily. The next, we are moving on to the distribution of materials. So distribution management refers to the process of movement of goods from the supplier to the manufacturer and then to the point of sale. So it is a overarching and refers to the numerous activities and processes like packaging, inventory, warehousing, supply chain and logistics. So when you consider modern distribution management, we have the product that moves from point A to point B. So in such cases, it involves gathering and sharing relevant information which can be used to identify the key opportunities for growth and competitiveness in the market. So progressive companies, they use distribution forces to obtain market intelligence because that will place them in a highly competitive position. Next one, we have inventory control activity. So inventory or stock control, it is usually an activity that checks on material availability. So the major role of this inventory control is to keep the stock in a desired state while continuing to adequately supply the customers or supply to the production units. So this control is done by maintaining a clear records on a periodic and perpetual basis. So today's modern and high-end technology that usually enables the inventory management software, and that plays an important role in providing timely and accurate analytical optimization and forecasting technique. So you can even solve a very complex inventory management problems with the help of this high-end technology. The next one is safety margin. So something that is over and above what is strictly necessary and that is designed to provide for emergencies. So it could be a spare amount or a measure or degree which is allowed or given for contingencies or in a very special situations. So you can relate to materials, those are needed to maintain the flow of uninterrupted production process. So something which you need to maintain little over your requirement, so that is being used to prevent the stoppage of production process till the materials get pumped in. You can also relate to the concept of sales, where the principle applicable where the margin of safety is the difference between the actual sales and the break-even sales. So some finished goods you keep it in hand, so whenever there is a customer demand, immediately you supply and see to it that sales is being made. Next one is movement of materials. So it involves a short distance movement within the confined areas of building or between the building and a transportation vehicle. So if you see, we use manual or semi-automated or fully automated equipment, and we take care of protection, storage and control of materials throughout the production, warehousing, distribution, consumption and even disposal. So next one is cost estimates. So material is the prime element for manufacturing products. So these are divided into direct materials and indirect materials. So what are direct materials? These are called productive materials like raw materials and stores and spares. So one need to find out the order size by arriving at the total production requirement. So once you know what is the total production requirement, you calculate the amount required for the raw material. You have to multiply that with the number of orders that you would be taking further in the future. And the cost estimation should also include the salvage value, because salvage value or the revenue that you arrive at by selling the scrap or the waste, right, during the production process. So what does the salvage means? It is a sale of waste or scrap. So this should be deducted from the total material cost, because it is a kind of a revenue that you make out of it. So what is the total cost you incur during procurement of the material? Whenever you make earnings on the selling of the scrap or the salvage value, you need to deduct so that your total cost will come down. So next one is using standard components. So these are pre-manufactured parts which are bought in to aid the production of the product. For example, nuts, bolts, screws, buttons, zips, etc. So some standard components are really standardized sub-assemblies. So in current scenario, if you check, most of the manufacturers specialize themselves in making the standard components, and even they sell outside. Next one is supplier development. So there is no single approach to supplier development. So purchasing or supply management professions, they mostly select suitable approach to develop their suppliers. Then next one is the guiding decision, design decisions. I think we have to stop here, and you need to continue in the second video. So this I am completing with the part 1. Please wait for the part 2 video.